Hello, it's T from Teaquilts, and today is Saturday, September 30th, 2023. It is 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're here for live sew and chat. So I'm going to give people a few minutes to get in here while I get set up, and I need to pull myself up as well. So let's see. Hmm. Okay. All right. Let's see what's in here. All right. So I'm hoping I can make some more blocks. I don't know if I even got pieces cut. What I have sewn here, I haven't worked on this project in a while. So we are just testing things out. I don't know why these are stuck together. It's been a while. This is not sewed. This is. So I'm just trying to get like things together right now. I got my fan on high today, just in case I get hot. So I'm poking pins in here to hold stuff on the board. Let's see. These are halves. Wow, I didn't realize I had this much. And I got blocks over there too. So I got lots of blocks. And I've been pressing seams open just so I can keep it consistent. I'm out of black half square triangles. That's what it looks like. And this is scrap. All right, so we know where we are. I got two pieces here, so I'm assuming those go with those. These are extras. These, I don't have any black pieces to sew. Sit you over there. I could sew some of these if I want to. So let's see who's in the chat tonight. All right. Carissa Renninger, welcome to the chat, girl. She hasn't been in here in a little bit. Phyllis G saying hi, T and everyone. Darcy Savali, hi, T and all quilters. Remember to give T your thumbs up and to subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so you can get notifications when T is here. Also, check out her Facebook page, Teaquilts LLC. Remember to answer the 3 questions when you go there, just to make it easier for you to get into the group. Sometimes I go and do the research to approve you, and other times I just deny, depending on how I'm feeling at the time and how much time I have. So yes. So thank you, Darcy, for our pinned message. Maddie Barnum is here. Hi, T and everyone. I will send my email to you tomorrow. Okay. And got Dee Branson. Good evening, T and fellow quilters. Vivian Calvi. Hi, T and everyone. Kevin the quilter. Hey, Miss T and all T quilters. Crystal L. Hi, T and everyone. Francis Jackson. Hello, T from Michigan. Harriet Susan Franklin. Hello, T and everyone. Zandra saying hi, T and everyone. Gloria Jackson saying, hi, Miss T. So happy to be in the chat. And I got to go out and come back in because it's not giving me any chats after that. And there is a lot that rolled down the screen. Claudette Bettis is here saying hello, T and everyone. Gloria says, give you a thumbs up always. Well, thank you. Becky Bramlett's here saying hello, everyone. Crocheting as usual, pot holder set. So those are nice gifts to have. Christine H, hello, everyone. Hello, T and everyone from Michigan. And Janice Miller saying hello, T and everyone. Zella McKenzie, hi, T and friends. Sea Joy Creations, hi, T and T Quilters. I guess I must have missed. Kevin the Quilter saying, hey, Miss T and all T Quilters. Crystal L, hi, T and everyone. I don't know if my chats are coming in the same order as you guys, or if I'm double reading, or if I'm double getting them. Lana, no, that's Lorna. No, that's Lana. I have to read little text without my glasses. That's Lana saying hello, everyone. Lizette Zaya saying hello, T and T Quilters. Wrapping up a quilt on the mid-arm frame, so that's cool. Betsy Layton saying hello. Good evening, all. I went shop hopping today, so that's cool. Mary Yang saying hello, everyone. My first time here. Well, welcome to the chat. Appreciate you subscribing and joining us today. Cam R saying good evening, quilters. And Kevin is welcoming Marianne to the channel. Darcy says in months April through September, we got 3 inches of rain. In the past week, we got 12 inches. Wow. That's a lot. Kim saying welcome to Marianne as well. I got a net in here, and it's crawling around. I can't get them. Let's see. T. Roberts is here saying evening, all T Quilters. Gloria Jackson saying, and forgive my lack of manners, Marianne. Hello. And forgive my lack of manners. Hello. Not to Marianne. Woo-wee, boy. That's a shame when you can read better without the glasses, small text up close. Melody Kiefer is here saying hi, T and everyone. I'm going to move these over because I don't want to lose them. Janet McCarroll saying good evening, T and T Quilters. Joanne Lucas saying hello, Mrs. T and T Quilters. Remo JS, good evening, Miss T and Quilters. Thumbs up to show your support and love. Hello, welcome to the chat. Clovis Gardner saying good evening, all. Bonita Nance, hey, Miss T and everyone. Nikki B saying hello, all. Melina Montoya saying hey, hey. Miss Topaz, Lori saying good evening, T and fellow quilters. So yes. Y'all, I'm ready to go to bed, okay? I went to bed about, I guess, about midnight, which is early for me because I knew I had something. I had scrap quilting club today. We were supposed to have scrap quilting club last week, and we got kind of kicked out of our spot, which is, happens sometimes when you meet in churches, because you never know what type of program they're going to come up with, and you could get canceled, which we were okay with. The great thing was that we had a fifth Saturday in the month, and so we were able to reschedule for today. So that was fun. We get there today, and what they had last Saturday wasn't put up. Every table was taken. So unfortunately, we did not get to sew today. And I ended up staying there because I needed to have a meeting with some of the So Busy Guild members. We got 4 of us are in Scrap Quilting Club, the other 2 are not. And it was about our retreat that we normally have in May. We're changing facilities. Things change. You have to switch things up. And so we're changing facilities, but the facility we're using, it's not a new facility, but the facility we're using isn't open Memorial Day weekend. So we are having to do that retreat the following week. Good news about that, though. Good news is that the So Busy retreat, we have 6 members and we open it up to another 6 members. We've decided we're going to open it up to a total of 17 this year instead of 12. So we do have spaces for people to come to a retreat. So that's something that I completely forgot about. And somebody just asked me about my Teaquilts retreat, but I think they want to come to the Teaquilts retreat, not the small one. We don't have a chartered bus on this retreat. That's the difference between this retreat. Well, the number of days. We do a 3-night retreat. And but if anybody want to do that type of a retreat, let me know. I'm still working with the facility to get numbers because they sent me a contract. We could go up to 28 people. I don't know if I want to do 28 people and then turn right around at the end of June and do another 28 people. So if somebody, especially local here in St. Louis, want to go on a retreat, it's going to be the first, like May 30th, I think is the Thursday, through June 2nd, if I'm not mistaken, of 2024. Contact me about that. So that's new. We are working on that. That's what we were meeting about today. So I'm kind of letting you know prematurely. We do have the facility. Once we get the correct contract, we have to send in 25% of what's due. So we got to work now to get 12. So 5 people, because we normally do 12 and we're going to do 17. Okay. I'm trying to get this to go in here without me touching it, and so it can snap in on its own. That worked. All right. So I had that meeting. At first we were outside on the parking lot just talking because we had to let everybody know that the meeting was canceled. You send an email, people are not reading emails. Still had people showing up to 2 hours later. I left, about 2.5 hours because we had the meeting. We just met in the hallway. And so I'm sad we didn't get to actually have our club meeting because I meant to work on t-shirt quilts that I got to do for a customer. I'm ready to do putting the stabilizer on the back. I had taken out my whole steam press, bolts, a couple bolts, one open bolt and one new bolt of interfacing. And yeah, nothing to show for my day quilt wise. So then I go to drop something off at my daughter's house, and then she needed to make a run since I was available, which I thought I was going to come back home, get my live scheduled early, get some other things I needed to get done, like organizing this project that I just kind of did in front of you all. But I just got back home about 10 minutes to 7. Yeah. So I haven't had a nap. I'm tired, so I'm really ready to go to sleep. And but I'm here to do, live someone chat. So let me go and see is who I missed. I see Miss Topaz. That was the last one. Sheila Willis. Good evening, T and all quilters. Elizabeth Style. Hello, Miss T and everyone. Mona did what? Saying hi, T and everyone. My brother, I saw him today. I didn't tell you what I did after that. I got to go back and finish. Hi, sis and everyone. Tom Whittick Eckery saying hi, Miss T and all T quilters. Hit that thumbs up button. Hey, Tom, welcome back. uh, Darcy is welcoming Marianne to T's channel. She says, have fun with us. Make sure you check out T on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So thank you for that, Darcy. I appreciate that. Tribal Woman is here saying hello, everyone. Joe Carmel Perkins saying, hey, Miss T and all T quilters. Lana Dean is back. Welcome back. Hope you're feeling better today. Saying good evening, Miss T and T quilters. And she's still got the prayers up. So that's send her prayers as well. Remo says the thumbs up aren't matching who's watching. We don't bite. Join. Come along and enjoy an honest educator, and you will have fun and learn at the same time. So thank you, ma'am. Trying to get Wind Sprinters here. Hello, T and everyone. Janine Pfeiffer, welcome to the chat. Your name looks new to me. Appreciate you popping something in the comment box. Shelly Souls says, hello, T from Ohio. Your name sounds familiar, or if you are not new, it's been a little while. So welcome to the chat. Appreciate you commenting as well. Charlotte Villa says, hello from Alabama. The Heart of Dixie also sounds like a new name to me. Welcome to the channel. And Jonah Crutchfield, hello, welcome. I don't know if I've seen your name in a while. I can't remember, but welcome back just in case. Leah Bryan, hello, TNT Quilters. Lana says, thank you, everyone, for your prayers. Veronica May says, hello from Rhode Island. So welcome, everybody, to the chat. So I am, let's see how much water I have in here. Hardly any. So first order of business. Trying to make sure this is water. I think I just kept this lemonade bottle, and I washed it one time, and then I decided to keep it because I like the bottle for a water bottle, and it still smells lemony. All right, so we'll cut that on. And Kevin saying, welcome to the channel, all you new tea quilters. Shelly So says, not new, just usually stay in the background. So that's cool. Well, thank you for popping in here. All right. So I have been pressing seams open. I don't have my large press stick in here, so I'm my strip stick to press my seams on. So I'm just going to use this. We're gonna have some issues today with this big board, but we're gonna do what we can. That's from Darcy. I haven't gotten around to posting the optional block. We're gonna do optional block, but we're not going to mail them in starting next month. So next month starts a whole new year. October through September is how we do it. we're gonna do in the group where you post your photo, and maybe I'll save up, and then maybe once a quarter, maybe I'll just do a drawing where I'll donate something to for a door prize, but I'm not going to be mailing something every month. It's going to be $10 to join the optional block. Again, you're going to get your book for the entire year except for October. I'm going to do October by itself because everybody hasn't paid. Everybody hasn't had an opportunity to pay. I'll post in there. I'm keeping a list of everybody that has sent me Cash App, and I will be deleting everybody out of the group, and then I'm going to upload the entire book to the group. So that's kind of how that's going to work. It's going to be a PDF file where you can download. I like the books, block books, because you can do it as a block. You can do it as a sew along, like making all the blocks and then putting them all into one quilt if you want. But it's a great way to get the possibility of doing 10 quilts. So, and then it's or 12 quilts, I'm sorry, because there's 12 months in a year. It's $10 for the book. That's where the 10's coming from. So yeah, so that's what's happening with optional block. I do need to post the October block. I will be posting that for free. But if you want written instructions, it will cost $10 for that. Just because I have to take time to do all of that typing and stuff. So it just helps support the cause over here. Janine says, same here. Yes. And I do know that some of you all are not like new to the channel. I'm just welcoming you all into the chat as well, because I haven't seen a whole lot or seen a lot of your name. Lana says, I like that iron. Thank you. This is just a Panasonic cordless iron. I purchased this iron in 2018, and it's been working just fine ever since. I do put water in my iron. I'm one of those people. So I haven't had any problems with it. When I bought it in 2018, I liked it so much that I purchased two, and the other one is still just sitting in a box waiting for this one to die. I have never cleaned this iron. It's not perfect on the bottom. I'll show it to you in a minute. But I haven't done anything to the bottom of this iron. I don't want to pour too much of my water out here. But it's not dirty. It's got, very light brown streak, but not really dirty. So this can be another block here. So I'm just pressing pieces right now. So I'm just going to put a pin in this because I got my fan going. Joe Taylor says, hello, Miss T and everyone, enjoying the conversation and knitting on a baby blanket. So that's cool too. I wish I could knit. I need to eventually probably find some time and take a class, because I love knitted socks. And that would be really cool. So oh, Joe Cormel says she's got it. She's sending hers Venmo. Yeah, and I'm just, like I said, you don't have to have it paid in October. I think I gave the deadline of like October 15th. I'll be putting everyone out of the group that isn't paid. So just so I don't have to create a group every year. I don't want to do that. And if it gets to be too many people I'm going through, then I'll just have people rejoin. But right now I'm going to try to just kick out the people that don't pay, and hopefully that'll be easier. We'll see. Or they can delete themselves. That always works. That makes it even easier. I think most people like getting the patterns, and people like doing the block, but it's very costly when you're doing the optional block to send it in every month. Just trying to make sure these are all the same. Because, okay, had to just turn it right. I'm like, that's not the same. All right. So I had no idea. I got blocks that need to be pressed, and I need to go to my big board or my ironing board and press a final press where I put some starch on these. So just haven't gotten around to it. Um, Hi Santiago. She's saying good evening all. And Remo's mailing a check. Kevin says, make sure you're paid up for retreat also. Teaquilters retreat, Teaquilts retreaters. Yes. So thank you for that reminder, because I'm basically just on my Saturday sewing chats. It is exactly what it is. I'm sewing and I'm chatting, and it could be about anything. Most times I try to keep it on quilt related stuff, and sometimes it's not. But thank you for that reminder, Kevin. I have had a couple people pay within the, like, yesterday and today. I have not been at my desktop yesterday. So if you paid for anything, you will be getting. Thank you, Kimberly. I see yours. um, you will be getting notifications every time you make a payment for a retreat. I do send you a confirmation email. If you want to know how much you still owe on retreat, all you got to do is search your emails and also check your spam folder to see if it's in your spam. But you can always search for Teaquilts, and then every email that I've ever sent you will come up, and then it should be the last one for a retreat. And I always tell you what your balance due is. So you should never not know how much you still owe for a retreat. And when you're paid in full, you make your last payment, I send you another email saying, I got this payment on this date and you're now paid in full. So I do keep you up to date on all of your retreat payments. Like I said, what was yesterday? Oh, I had to go check on some stuff for my mom. I had to go uh on the it wasn't the south side. It was like in the city, but it was a good distance of like 45 minutes or so from my house, checking on something for my mom. I checked the post office box yesterday. Nothing was there. And I've been mailing packages, things that have been ordered. I still got to mail your blocks, Remo. I made some t-shirts. I still got 3 t-shirts I need to order. I made t-shirts yesterday. That's what I did yesterday. And I had to make some runs for my mom. So, and I got some orders in the mail. I just didn't get a chance to get them all in the mail. Whenever I have t-shirt orders, I do them in bulk. I don't just do one t-shirt because, I have to pull out a lot of stuff for it. So I do them in bulk. So your order may be up to a month late or so. I do the best I can. Um, so, I've been working on that. So I got 3 more t-shirts I got to send out. And I think the reason I just went ahead and got everybody that had ordered through PayPal, that had paid for their orders. I went ahead and got those out because I hate having my PayPal orders sit too long, even though Darcy sat very long because she was the first one to order as soon as I had just got through doing t-shirts. So then she ordered, but I have to kind of work everything in. But I am doing that. And today, I forgot to tell you what I did today. My niece moved into her apartment today, and so family and church members had a housewarming party for her, and that was really fun to see everybody. We had a good time. and it was really nice how the family showed up for her because she's really sweet. So that was really fun. And her apartment looks really nice. I was totally surprised. I thought she was going to have a 1 bedroom, and it looked like that when you walk in. And it turns out she's got a 2 bedroom, 2 bath apartment. So it's really cool. I really like it because she uses one side for her office. So it's great that she doesn't have to go back to the other side of the apartment to go to the restroom when she's at work. So that was cool. So I really like her apartment. She got a lot of nice things. So very well supported by the family and church. So here is September, and it's another thing happening in September, okay? September was a busy month, and when I started out September, I only had a wedding and this apartment shower, and she had moved in July, and she put it off until after the wedding because she didn't want to bother anybody with anything before the wedding because a lot of the family was involved with the wedding. So we had the wedding at the beginning of the month and the apartment warming at the end of the month. But I had a whole lot happening between them two, I can tell you. My screen has just been going down while I've been pressing and talking. If you all got any questions you want answered, you can also ask those. I will answer any questions you put in the chat as I get to them. Let's see, I gotta go back. That was Kevin reminding me about the quilt. The retreat. Sandy says, "Okay, what we doing with optional blocks?" I'm in. Okay, and I will be posting a note inside of the optional block when I post the October block as well. It's up to you to read it. So if you get kicked out of the group because you didn't read, that's not going to be on me. You got to learn how to read these announcements when I send them out. So I'll try to do a at everyone type post if I remember. Otherwise, every time I post, me being the group organizer, you should automatically get a notification that I've posted in the group. So you should be getting notifications anyway. Maddie says, "I will cash out mines." T is saying, "Miss T, how do you prefer to get optional block money?" I prefer Cash App or Venmo or Zelle. Cash App is just $Teaquilts. Just like what's on my shirt or the name of my YouTube channel. Venmo is just Teaquilts, no $, Teaquilts. And then my Zelle is my email address, teaquilts@teaquilts.com. If it goes through PayPal, they just take out fees, and they think you're buying something that I'm going to be mailing to you, and I'm not mailing you anything, so it'll just be sticking out there waiting for me to ship something that's not going to get shipped. Gloria saying this iron is on my wish list. Yes. Mary Donovan here saying, "Thinking about buying that Panasonic iron. I have a Panasonic phone that just won't quit." Yes. I haven't had any issues with mine. I only heard of one person having an issue, and I don't know if it got returned and they got another one, or if they returned and got their money back. But I've only heard of one person having a problem with the iron personally, or that's reported it to me. Now, most times I do product reviews, and when I do a product review, and if somebody else has another issue with it, normally people will come into my comment section of that video and put down, because they're looking for other people that had issues with it, so they're looking at reviews. But I haven't had anyone tell me, other than one person, that they've had an issue with the Panasonic iron. Sharon Lewis, hey girl, says, "Hi T and Quilters." Blank from Sewing Expo in Fredericksburg to Washington, D.C., listening to the chat. So she's driving, okay, because we're missing one letter. So stay safe while you're listening. Do any quilters loom knit? Any suggestions on brands of looms from anyone? That's Kevin making a request. Uh, Shaquita says, "Hi, T and everyone. T, I like your T-shirt. Yeah, this is the new Scrap Quilting Club shirts. We have them. This is the same logo, but the logo was black on light color shirts. This time we went with dark color shirts, and we've got the gold. So we're gonna do purple shirt with lime green for retreat for 2024. So I'm looking forward to seeing that." Frederica 27 saying hello from Hattingen, Germany. Just got back from volunteering at the Invictus Games where I had a great experience and saw Harry and Meghan numerous times. Now that's awesome. That's fun. So welcome to the chat, Frederica, um, all the way from Germany. So thank you for joining us and chatting with us. T, what are you working on? I'm working on this friendship chisels. We talked about this before. It's been one of my sewing chats, but I had to get my cousin's quilt done, so I didn't get a chance to finish this project before I started. And I never did finish all the blocks. I don't even know how many blocks I have. I'm just sewing whatever pieces I have, and then I'll get these down with a good press, and then I'll see if I've got like a weird number of blocks that I need to make more to finish off a setting, then I will do that. I keep saying this every quilt that I make, but I'm really going to stick to it this time. I keep saying it's going to be the quilt that I'm going to use, and then I put all of them aside to put into my lectures whenever I'm teaching, because people want to know how to use these prints. But even a used quilt can still be shown if it's not in pristine condition. So I think I'm going to make this queen size. Whatever number of blocks I have, I'm going to add borders to make it queen size. And then I'm actually going to use this quilt because I love all the African prints, but I don't get to see them on a daily basis. So I'm going to put this on my bed. So that's what I'm working on. Teresa Forster says, "Hi everyone, just wondering why the chat is not showing on my TV. The chats do not show on your television through Roku. That's just the feature of Roku and YouTube's relationship. So I don't know why that doesn't show. It's weird because they have where you can now shop, which is so weird to me. But I got another net in here. By the time I get the iron, it's already out of the way, but I'm trying to steam it away from me because I don't want to get bit. I had fruit, and I think it just come off the fruit before it got washed. So I need to do something about that. I have some apples too. I think I'm probably going to throw them away. I can't stand nets. We're almost there. Well, we got these blocks that can be pressed, but I am going to press what I'm going to sew first so we can sew something. So I had a really a good day. My niece's event, I was there from about 3 to 6:30. Took me about a half hour to get home. So I had a good day today. I'm just tired. I didn't get that nap in from me getting up early and staying up late. So, yes. Just sticking a pin in it to hold it. All right. So, first thing I'm going to do is sew these together to oh, I know why these aren't sewed. Look. They're a little bit short, and so what I wanted to do was add some fabric on the bottom. This one's not short, so I'll sew this one. Well, let's see. I'm just looking for a scrap bag. I got all my African fabrics here because I'm sewing. These are strings and crumbs, aren't they? And I don't care what it looks like, as long as it's wide enough. So it's already a scrappy quilt, so I don't have to worry about trying to find something that's going to match it. It's not that serious. So I'm just going to sew this piece on here and then cut off what I don't need. Since I'm going to cut off, I'm going to back stitch. All right. So now I can sew this one that fits. And when I take the other one off, I'll just trim off what I don't need. Yes, you can, Lana. You can cash at me. I thought I sent in an email what the t-shirt cost is with shipping. If I haven't, just send me another email when I get off, or I'll look at it and see if I get a chance, and I'll get you a total. Let me go back and try to get caught up. Peggy O'Connor is here saying hi, TNT Culture, sewing along with you tonight. Yeah, Peggy was at Scrap Club. She did a drive-by because we were outside for a while. So we got most people outside. One of the members had brought donuts for Kevin's birthday. He wasn't there. That was Jeff and Becky. Well, two members bought the donuts for Kevin's birthday, but he wasn't there. But we just had donuts on the parking lot. Do we have numbers for the upcoming retreat? I think I'm signed up for 2025. 2025 retreat is still at the $100 to get on the list. Deposit non-refundable. They should be contacting me sometime in October with the final numbers. They had a board meeting sometime in September. They were supposed to be getting. My fan is blowing big time. They're supposed to be getting back to me with the fees for 2025 at this board meeting. They only previous to that they only had amounts for 2024. So hopefully they'll be getting back to me with that. 2025, just save your money. Save whatever money you can for 2025's retreat. You can pay for 2025's retreat early if you want to, but payments for 2025 retreat are not due until 2024. So there are no requirements. I do recommend, and I will tell people that when I get the prices out, that, if you want to send your money in early, you can. Your money will be there ready to pay for your retreat. And if not, save your money up so that you know that you have your money. So when payments start to be due, you can pay all at once, or you can make your installments. I always say whatever retreat fee is, make sure you at least double it, because you want to know how you're going to get there, be it flying, train, driving. That's going to cost money. You're going to need money for some food when we're out shop hopping, because we're not going to go back to the facility to eat. On some days when I know we're out all day, I don't even schedule meals at the facility unless, well, in 2025, food can be available for those that don't want to go on a bus trip. So if somebody don't want to go on a bus trip, I need to know early so I can let them know. Otherwise, I'm going to be canceling that meal, because I think it's foolish for me to let them waste money even though we paid for it. This other facility we're doing in 2025 charges a flat rate whether you eat or not. So it makes it so that the numbers are easier to keep up with too. So I kind of like that. So I have no information on 2025. Rhonda Barlow says, hey, T and everyone. I hit the thumbs up. Thank you. T says hers is sent. Thank you for optional block. And Frederica is working on a t-shirt quilt and am using a lining so the quilt squares won't be wonky, but I still have issues matching seams because of different fabrics. What else can I do to match seams? I think it just depends on the type of stabilizer interfacing that you're using. I think one thing is if you're using a knit interfacing on the back side of a knit, you need to make sure that the stretchy part of your shirt is going this way, and then you turn it so that the stretchy part of the interfacing is going this way. If you're using SPF Pellon 101, it shouldn't matter because it's going to make it so that it's a cloth feel. So I'm thinking it has something to do with the type of interfacing that you're using that's causing the issues, because I don't have any problems at all with t-shirt quilts, and I know I've done at least 15 t-shirt quilts. So, and I don't have that issue, but I make sure when I'm putting that stabilizer on that I'm using the right kind. Veronica saying she recommends Vivo. I have never used that. I haven't had to. I try to use, when I'm doing customer quilts, like now I'm going to use SPF 101 because I don't have any of the cheap interfacing in my house, or I don't know where it is. If it's it, oh, I know where it is. My interfacing is in last year's retreat container for charity work because I used the interfacing for the project. We did the bags. I interfaced all of those pieces. That's where it's at. It's in the garage. So, but I'm using SPF 101 that I normally don't use on my customer quilts. I normally use that on my quilts, but because it costs more and I do just as good a job with either one, I can use the cheapest one because I know that I just need to rotate that interfacing. So I use my text and look at you on my TV. Yeah. So you have to text on one thing, and if you want to see it big, then you can look at it on television. But if you want to chat, and that's why a lot of people don't chat, because they can't chat on television, and they're not going to pull it up on two devices. So I fully understand. But people love to have it up on their big televisions, but then it's inconvenient to have to go get something else. Diane McCoy says, T, I may have missed it, but what pattern blocks are you working on? I'm working on the friendship chisels, and this is something that I was sewing on previous to sewing on the Brightly quilt for my cousin. I'm just finishing up. I'm coming back to this. I had no idea how many pieces I even had, so that's what's going on with that. I'm just pressing something so I can get it. I need to keep my iron hot and hopefully this is long enough. If not, we'll add another piece, right? I make it work. When I have this whole entire quilt done, you're never gonna even notice. Let me show it to you. You're not even gonna notice that I sewed that little bit of piece on the bottom because it was too short. I don't even worry about that. It's a scrap quilt, and it gives it some character. Now all I'm gonna do is just line this up, and then I'll trim off my extra when I get to the bottom after I sew it. All right. So now I'll need to make, how many is this? 1, 2. So I got 2 sets of 2s. I need 2 this way and 2 that way. So we're just sewing. I got these units here that I've sewn. We've shown these before, where I've taken 2 chisels, and now I'm going to sew them into pairs. Just something that I'm calling friendship chisels. Something like that. I think that's what it's called. It's been a while since I looked at the written instructions. All right, one more for this one, and I need to press the 2 on my machine. Yeah, a couple of my chisels were short. You know how when you're doing scraps and you stack stuff and you don't realize that everything didn't quite make it over the die cut line. So you just have a little bit of stuff to do, you know. I just take it up in my seaming or add another piece when I need to. Especially on something like this where it's scrappy. It's different if it was like something that it would really matter, it would really show. I ran out of a piece of fabric and it really, really would show. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Granny's Sewing Room saying hello, T and fellow quilters. Frederico says it's 3:39 a.m. I woke up and couldn't go back to sleep, so I watch YouTube videos. Now, a lot of people do that. Remo says, does she go to sleep with and leave it on YouTube on a quilting thing, so it just keeps playing quilting things, and every once in a while she wakes up in the middle of the night, so I think that's funny. And he talking about, oh, you were serious about the donuts? I missed my own birthday donuts, laughing out loud. Yes, you did. We ate them too. Ate them with no problem. All right. I'm about to. So this is one that I just put the piece on the bottom. I'm going to press this other one open and put them together. And then I'll show it to you sewed into another seam. All right. So turn you that way and this one this way. Make sure they're all going the same direction, so when I put them together, everything matches up. I have had a few people asking me about Retreat 2024. I have one spot. Seems like most people are wanting a spot for 2 people. And right now I don't have a spot for 2 people. I just got one spot that's double occupancy, so I'm waiting to hear from somebody if they're going to take that or not. So 2024 retreat, currently I have a person who's interested. If somebody pays, then that person will get the spot, because I've been kind of holding it, but I need a warm body because I'm obligated to pay for that spot whether somebody's there or not. So I'm trying to get one spot filled, but you will have to share a room with somebody. Oh, the one I want to show you is still on my machine. Hey June Hanson. Darcy says, I only see 60 thumbs up here and over 100 people. If you haven't, make sure you hit it. So please hit the thumbs up button for me, people. I appreciate it. And when I say people, I mean like quilters. uh, Shelly So says SF 101 is awesome. Yes, I do love it. It just currently, last time I bought it, it was $9.99 a yard. That was pre-COVID, so I'm sure it's more than that now. When I first started buying it, it was like $6.99 a yard, maybe. And it just keeps getting more and more expensive. So I use something else that works for me, so I don't have too much problems with it. So we've got all of those done. We've got that one down there. Let's see how many we got. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't worry about what fabric's touching what, long as it ain't the same fabric. That's all I care about. So just gonna turn them and sew them. Now I do have my seams pressed open, so it may be beneficial to put a pin in the center so that they don't move. So I'm just gonna use one pin as I sew. I'll put it on the back side of my pressed open seam, so I take it out once I get up to the seam. And I'm just going to sew these together. Take the pin out, lay it there, and then get the next ones lined up. All right. So I've got some of my blocks are turned the wrong way. We must have them in the right orientation so our block works. And these blocks don't get sashing in between. You could, but if I'm not mistaken, the pinwheels, they're going to make black pinwheels when it's put together, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a little while since I've worked on this. So I just need to see how many blocks I have for what size of a layout, and then go from there to see if I need to cut anymore. Just stick that up there. Okay. I want to take off this first one because I got to press it anyway. My press stick is right here. Uh-oh. I'm pulling off I got a board behind here that has scraps that I've been just crumb piecing. They're coming off my board. This is the one I need to show you. So that I pieced that section. So you can see on this piece here where I pieced that little strip in, and it's barely noticeable. And I'm telling you, once this quilt get put together, you're not gonna even be able to find it. So I'm okay with like salvaging a die cut piece by just adding something on a scrap quilt. And again, like I said, nothing is up here lined up to match, so I'm just sewing pieces together long as the same fabrics on in there. And oops, I went to the wrong spot. I lined up with the piece I added on. Like my ends don't match. Okay, Gloria saying money for patterns sent by Zelle. So hopefully everybody is on Facebook that's sending money. If you're not on Facebook and need to get a refund, you can email me at teaquilts@teaquilts.com, because that's how you're going to get your patterns from through the Facebook group. All right. Pretty, pretty. She says, sorry, the Vivo is for gnats and other flying insects. I'm like, I don't know what that is. That is funny. See, I don't read conversations when you put at somebody else. And so then when I read your conversation, when you forget to put it to somebody else, then I have no idea what's going on because I've missed stuff. So that's too funny, Veronica. I got this nets come back. I want to steam them. I don't know if I can get them. Like, go away. Like, why are you in here with a fan going? Frederica, next question. I have gone through 2 sewing machines sewing quilts despite great care. Both my Singer and Foth have gone to repair. I am now using cheap Aldi while both machines are maintenance. It just depends on what I'm sewing. Like, if I'm doing anything like doing a denim quilt and I'm trying to get 4 seams to match for a 4 patch, I would not be using my Bernina. I think they say that they can sew all of this stuff, but if I paid thousands and thousands of dollars for a machine that I don't want to pay thousands of dollars for again, I don't sew that on my machine. I have cheaper Singer heavy duty machines. I've recently brought a Brother heavy duty sewing machine. If I'm doing straps for purses, I use those machines. I make my purses on those other machines. It just saves the wear and tear on my my what I call fancy machines here. So I've messed up timing on 2 machines. I was able to get one time back right. The other one has never been corrected. Was able to be corrected. I really love that machine. It's a good machine, but it'll stitch 3 stitches and then do a large skip stitch. And I've had all kinds of people trying to get it fixed, different shops and stuff, and I don't tell them what the problem is or what anybody else says so that the next shop has a fresh pair of eyes. But I just am very careful after that what I sew on my expensive machine. So this Bernina 770 and the Elissimo, the regular Elissimo, the first one that came out, the Elissimo, I don't stitch heavy duty stuff. I don't. I do not like, I don't want anything to mess up with them, so I just don't give it the opportunity. I don't plan to buy another expensive sewing machine because they just keep getting more and more costly. I want to see how much thread I got. My cone's almost empty. I don't want to just run out, you know. I think I'm at the last 2 here. I just want to make I don't know. Oh, do I have one on here? Let's see what we got. 1. I thought I counted 14 pieces for 7 blocks. But maybe I miscounted. Okay. That's already done. All right, so I might have to do pieces for another half block, which means I'll have to cut some black. I'm all out of black. I'm gonna have 1 extra. I'm gonna put that one up there. Well, no, I'll put this one down here and save this one for another block because it's the same fabric. One of them has the same fabric. When I get down to like the last 4 or 6 in my stack, then that's when I'll go ahead and match something up just to make sure, because one of my fabrics, I only had 1 fabric that repeated in these last 5 pieces, technically 10 pieces. And so only one fabric was the same. So if you use enough fabrics when you're scrap quilting, you don't have to lay out everything before you sew it together to make sure that it's going to work. I just randomly sew. I'm missing a half of a block, so I have to cut 2 black half square triangles when I get a chance, because I don't even have black fabric in here. I didn't have any in the bag that I had this stored in, so I must have just I'm sometimes will use my black scraps and just cut from that. So all right, last one here, right there. Did I sew over a pin? Nope. I couldn't remember taking it out. um Hello, Greenland Quilter. I think that's Katie. Yep. um, um, Lana says, does the thumbs up show up if I hit the thumbs up on the TV? Will that count? I think so, since it's there. I think it will work. I hope it works. I do the thumbs up on my television, so I do hope it works. I thumbs up people videos on my television. So I hope it works. Whoops. Got to get my pen out of there. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this for right now. Well, I could sew I can sew 2 pieces that don't match those. It doesn't matter which 2. I'm not going to be picky. And then I'll just have to cut my black. But I already know. Well, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to pin everything on the board, because what if I got 1 block over? Then I don't have to sew anything. Like for setting, I need to count now. How many blocks I have. So I will go ahead and cut this. These are the other ones. So we just need to see how many blocks I have. Let me see if I can catch up on some of these chats real quick too. The thumbs up is on the TV on Roku. I just don't know if it really counts if it comes back to YouTube or not, like to actually count for the channel. But you can hit the thumbs up. I do know that. Teaquilts, remember, for all of your African fabric needs, please contact Miss T at Teaquilts at teaquilts.com. My website is www.teaquilts.com. I do have the African fabrics on my website. Well, I have some of them. Like I have fat quarter bundles that are just randomly selected. I have jelly roll strips. I do 30 fat quarter bundles, or you can get them in groups of 4. You can buy half yards by group of 4, or you can buy yards by group of 4. So it just depends. Shannon says, depends on what model Roku you have. Mine, I can see everything. I just can't add a comment. Right. I can't see the comments So I guess Roku is changing some too, but I can't see the comments on mine. I think I just found it and signed up tonight, so that's awesome. Flannel sheets can also be used to organize your quilt squares. MA Couture Crafting says, can someone tell me the pattern that T is working on, please? That block is on the wall. The block on the wall. I'm thinking if you're talking about the block I'm sewing on, this is just something that I made up with the chisels from the AccuQuilt die, which I am an affiliate. So if you ever order anything from AccuQuilt online, please come to my YouTube page or my Facebook group. Click on my affiliate link. It's in the description box. And go to the website using my affiliate link. So this is something that I just cut using the chisel die. There is no pattern for this. The blocks are 6 and 8 inches cut by AccuQuilt die. They can be any size you want, cut with the AccuQuilt chisel die. They can be any size. Yep, that's me. That's Greenless Katie. Yes, on TV counts. She said they do work. I know that I've been hitting them. So, and Katie is saying howdy, y'all. I think I read her previous greeting to you all. Just amazing that T can talk. And so Kevin says the same thing. He says, I don't know how you keep up with the chat. You talking and you're sewing and you don't make mistakes. I do make mistakes. I do more ripping when I'm live. I hardly ever rip when I'm by myself. I do more of my ripping live because I am doing all the things that I'm doing. And most times I can get away with it. And then if it's something that's very complicated, eventually I'm going to flip something around. So she says, I have to keep my mouth shut and concentrate. That is funny. Nana go, yes, it works. 81 thumbs up. And I tried it again and it took the one away. So I know it works. Thanks. So yeah, I watch videos and lives all the time with my TV and press that like button with it. Yes, I do it all the time. Katie talking about she's hyper right now. Oh, girlfriend, I know you're all keyed up, excited that your adrenaline is pumping. It should be. I love it and enjoy it. So, yes, Katie just wrapped up her first live. She's trying to get 1,000 subscribers. Oh, and then says, did T show herself using the chisel die? I want to purchase it. I have a video series where I was working with the AccuQuilt Crazy Quilt block in the 10-inch size, and then I used the chisel die in the border. So I would recommend watching that video series. You can watch the last video. Well, I don't know if it's going to be the last video because I don't know if I did a quilting video or not. But check in my AccuQuilt on YouTube. I have a playlist, and I put my AccuQuilt die stuff in the playlist where I'm doing a recording, not a live, so that you can see what I'm doing in that quilt top. So look for that. It's the Crazy Quilt. It's in pastels, like spring colors. That's what you want to look for. It's really cute. And then it'll give you a border ideal as well. T left on out. Not T. Oh, the auto correct. Yeah. I know what you all mean. So yes. So this is my block. I just got to now count them to see how many more I need to make. And for some reason, I'm coming over here and I see a pin in the first block. Sometimes I'll put a pin in a block and it signifies something. So I'm going to leave this pin in because if I go to line this block up with something and I have an issue, I know that I have a pin in it. It might be like a 1/16 of an inch short on one side, and when I do the seam allowance, it's going to be obvious, and then I know I just need to compensate for that. So I'm going to leave it there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7, 8, 9. So let's make sure. 1, Okay, that's 9 blocks. I'm just gonna put some pins in here just so that this doesn't blow all around the room. Okay. This set here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2. That's 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure. 1, 2. I just counted 9. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It should be 9, 7, 8, 9. Because I had 7 and then I had 2 already. So 17 and 9 is 26. So I have 26 blocks. Okay, I need to press these. 5 times 5 is 25. So 5 times 12 is 60. So I have 60. 6 by 6 is 36. So I need 10 more blocks if I did a 6 by 6. 6 by 6 would give me a 72-inch square. I'm looking to make a quilt that's going to be like 96 inches square. I could do it with 60. That's 15. Let's see. If I do 60 minus 96 is 36 divided by 2 is 18 inches of border all the way around. It's kind of a lot for me. 18 inches of border. So I think I'm going to do 36 blocks. So I'm going to cut more pieces. I have to see if I've got enough of the gray pieces cut to sew what I can. And I got plenty of fabric available though. So I'm going to make 10 more blocks, 9.5 technically with this half I got down here. So I need 9.5 more blocks. So I'll come back and cut that next week. So we'll continue to work on this. And then I will have to take it and lay it out somewhere. Or I just might start sewing them together. Who knows? if I don't get a chance to lay them out before I get my next 10 cut and sewed. Thank you, Katie says the blocks look really nice. Hi, Joan E. I mailed your blocks. You should have gotten an email with the tracking number. I mailed your blocks yesterday. Scrap Joy, welcome to the channel. Says new to your channel. Hello from Houston. Do you host retreats? Yes, I have. Right now, I just talked about this early at the early part of the video, so some of you may have missed it. I have a retreat scheduled for 2024. My large Teaquilts retreat, June 25 through June 30th. It's a 5-night, 6-day retreat. It also has a chartered bus tour going to some shops in Missouri. And we also do local shop hop day as well. So I do 5-day retreats because if I'm going to take you out shopping, which a lot of us like to do, who wants to go to another city and don't go to any, or another state and don't go to any shops? And so I do like to do that. And then I'm also having a retreat in 2025 for Teaquilts retreat. 2025 is scheduled for the last week, the last Tuesday of June through Sunday of 2025. I don't know what those dates are because I'm only keeping track of the 2024 dates. Um, so I do one, what I call my big retreat, where it's a 5-nighter and with the chartered bus. So I only do that once a year. I am with my small group that's called the So Busy Quilting Guild. We are having a retreat next year. We open it up. It's 6 of us that do this retreat. We have 6 other people that come with us every year, and we've been going for so many years that nobody else can go. And so we've decided to open up at least 5 more spots for next year. It's going to be it's going to be the Thursday after Memorial Day. I think it's May 30th through June 2nd. It's going to be a 3-night retreat. So I'm also opening that up, but it's going to be a very basic retreat. It's not going to be any chartered buses. You're not going to be getting major door prizes. I don't solicit anything because it's not really my retreat. I'm just part of the person that's doing the advertising. All of us are advertising for it. I'm probably the biggest influencer of all the advertisers. Most of them are going to go to other group guilds that they're at, and they're going to go try to get people for that. So we are opening that up. I don't have the prices on that yet because I need to get the contract. So next week, she gave me a contract for 28 people, and we don't really want 28 people there. So I need to get her to change the contract so we can get all the numbers correct. And then I'll be advertising that on my Facebook page. I might put one up on my YouTube page as well. We'll see. That retreat, whatever it costs, you're going to have 25% down. And then starting in January, you'll be paying in quarters to get the rest of your retreat paid for that. Darcy is welcoming Scrap Joy to the channel. She says, have fun with us. Also, I have a Facebook page that's Teaquilts LLC. If you are on Facebook, that's where I do some announcements over there. You can share photos of your projects over there. They don't necessarily have to be quilt related. Just make the post craft related is all that I ask. If it's something that I sell or promote, I ask people not to promote that information in my group because it will be banned. I do give people one warning and then you're out of the group. Brenda saying she will watch the replay. It's already 9:22. We're just moving right along. So she's awake from a needed nap. Girl, I want to get mine. Joe says, I'm getting forgetful of late, so I put a note with my pen on the block. Jogs my old memory most times. Yeah, I do have the pattern for this, but I didn't stick it into the container. I actually, not a pattern. I have like some notes jotted down, and I am working on this also with my scrap quilting club. So this is a scrap club project that I created for them. So um I they have, you can do the flip corners if you don't have the chisel die. You don't have to have the chisel die. I've talked about that in the very first video when I talked about this. So just on YouTube, put in Teaquilts friendship chisel, and then the very first video, I give you all the cutting things that you could do if you don't have the chisel die. So Darcy says, make sure if you're just coming in or getting ready to leave that you hit the thumbs up. So thank you, Darcy, for the reminder. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button for me already, please do so. I'm pressing the blocks, my friendship chisel blocks now. I have, for people that are just coming in, I have 26 and a half blocks. I've decided I'm going to make 36 and a half. So I got to do more cutting. I'm going to count once I get through pressing these. And then I'm going to do a final press. So I'm not really like concerned about these right now. I just want to press the seam open. because I'm not going to put any sashing between these blocks, and it just makes it so I don't have to worry about which way I'm orientating my block when I put it into the final setting. If they're pressed open, it doesn't matter. Every once in a while I press my seams open, and this is just one of those times when I'm not going to sash blocks. And I don't have my long strip stick here, so I'm using my little 9-inch one. That's that one. And this one. Let's see. Bonita must have left out because she's saying, when will we start paying for 2025 retreat once you get final cost? It still will be in 2024 that you'll pay for 2025's retreat. And I would guesstimate probably July, because I'll probably wait until after the retreat to officially do payments due. I was telling people, however, if you want to send your money in early for 2025, you just want to get it done so it's out the way, you can do that. I'm just not going to officially send it out requesting it. But most people, when they're sending their payments, they kind of let me know which year they're paying for. If it's obvious that you've got your 2025 for retreat paid for and you're paying for 2025, I think I will know that as well if you forget. But yeah, so it's not due now, but if you want to pay it, you can. Joan says she's going to mail her check. Okay. Janet says, T, where did you get your press stick? This one is one that I have just for here. And sometimes if I'm doing like smaller half square triangles, it comes in handy for that. I actually use one that's 22 inches long. And I do sell those on my website. You can go look at them. I think they're $14 for the strip stick that's 22 inches long. I use this, and I have to show you, I guess. I'll press this. Have you ever, like when you were sewing your blocks into rows, or sewing, like you sew your block and then you press your block, and then when you press that seam, it messed up your previous seam that you've had pressed? Like if I'm pressing this 4-patch block here, I'll show you the back side of it once I get it pressed here. What this strip stick does is, first of all, it's giving it memory because I'm pressing on a piece of wood up under here. And then number two, I'm only pressing on about 1 inch of fabric, the width of this stick. It's not pressing everything else. So I'm not going to move what's already down. And then when you see me take the stick away and then I press the block from the front, I'm just flattening out my center. So this is what my blocks look like, just pressing the block. This is what it looks like from the back. Everything is nice and flat. And I have a couple of quilt tops that I put into my lectures that I haven't quilted in like 15 years. And the seams, even though I folded and refolded and pulled it out and it's been sitting in storage, and I pull it out and do another lecture and show it, the seams still look the same. It keeps the memory of the seams. And so I like them because it makes everything, I press my seams open when I want to make sure everything stays nice and flat. So, but this is called the strip stick, and I do have it on my website, and I have it in the I don't have it in the 9-inch version because, like I said, I did something for some people that did something. I can't remember. Oh, I know what it was. When I first started selling African fabrics, I had people that supported me, and if you had purchased at that time, the first time I started selling like $250 or more in African fabric, I put a strip stick in, and I had so many people that had done that, so I sent them out as gifts. If it depends on the level of what you bought, is what I ended up gifting people that had reached a certain amount of money. So that's what that is. I forget. I forget what the actual thing. I think it has something to do with fabric though. But yeah. So I only bought this, and then of course, every time I buy something, I can't buy somebody else something and not buy it for myself. So so I got me one too, okay? But I do have the 22-inch sticks in stock, and they're $14. And they do have one that's like 45, but it's too bulky for me to mail. And I have one. In all honesty, I don't use it. It's just I use my 22. And you see how this stick isn't long enough on my 22 when I'm pressing like a row. I just slide it down like I'm sliding down this block to use this 9-inch stick. I'm pressing a 12-inch block on a 9-inch stick. So, but yes. I don't know what's going on. Peggy says she's using my strip stick tonight. After 4-star general, I press seams open. Right. It just depends on what type of, if I've got a lot of pieces in a block, I press my seams open because it also saves when I press that seam over, you're also taking up seam space. I hardly ever use a scant seam allowance. Hardly ever. By pressing them seams open, I'm putting everything right back to where it was. When you press to the side, you are taking up some of the space. And so when I'm up on top of this stick, I give it a really good hard press. And then I just slide it down so I can finish the rest of it. And then it has memory to remember. And I like this Panasonic iron because it's got this little tip on it. And it kind of helps guide my seam allowance open if I can get this stick under it. Okay. Minnie Dula says, I'm late, but hello, tea and quilters. Good night, tea and everyone. Have a great sewing week. Bye, Diane. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Scrap Joy, saying thanks, T. Kevin says, Lord have mercy. I just caught myself sleeping in my computer chair watching this live. I guess I am getting older. You are too funny. Many more. But we got plenty of time. I got like 4 more to press here. You better be safe over there. You're gonna fall out that chair. It's his birthday month, and he already can't handle the birthday month. That is sad. He had one birthday too many. He got me snorting over here. Oh my goodness. Lizette says, as a long arm quilter, do you prefer customer quilts to have seams pressed open? I really don't care. Whatever their personal preference is, because I don't press all of my seams open on all of my quilts. It just depends on if a lot of points are coming together. At that point, yes, I do prefer it. Will I not take their quilts? No. But if your quilt has a huge hump, like say you didn't press very well and it's a noticeable hump, just know that a long arm machine is not going to go over something that's high. It's going to hit it and bounce off of it, because we have our hopper foot set at a certain height. And for me, I use 3 business cards. That's what my brand of machine recommends. So it is not high like people think. It's not this high. You stack 3 business cards together, it is not very big. And that's what my machine is going to go over. It when it gets to anything else, it's going to hit and bounce off, and wherever it goes and what it does is just what it's going to do. I try to be with it, but sometimes I'm trying to multitask, so I may not catch it all the time. So I'm just not responsible for that. But I will take people quilts. I don't. Um, Sometimes people have. It depends on their skill set. I wouldn't even want some of my quilters, some of my people who are new or aging, because I have one quilter that's aging, and her stuff just isn't. She was a award winning. She had beautiful design she created, but as you get older, you can't see. Your hands doesn't function as well. I'm not going to turn those quilters away, and I'm not going to talk about their work to them because they're already knowing that the quality of their work is degrading because of aging. So I still take their quilts and I just do the best that I can. Sometimes I find, where I have holes on some of my customers' quilts, like it didn't stitch at all. And I just do what I call scrubbing, where I'll just take my long arm and just go over it in that spot where there's a hole, because I don't want my hopper foot to get caught in a hole. And I do tell my customers when I do that, and nobody has had a problem. Matter of fact, when I go to show them, I can't even find the scrubbing, okay? Because I do tend to match the background when I quilt something like that. I make sure certain customers, like my elderly that are 90 plus years old, I make sure that I use the same color background thread when I'm quilting their quilts. So I can do scrubbing if I need to. Because there's no point in giving somebody a quilt back with a hole in it either. So I try to do what I can. So I don't really have preference for other people quilts. I quilt whatever people give me. If I feel like like sometimes piece borders, I really recommend that people stay stitch 1/8 of an inch from the edge all the way around the outside whenever you have a piece border that's being long arm, and that's because it does get stretched a little bit and you could possibly lose some of your seams if it's an outside piece border and you didn't stay stitch the edge. That kind of stuff I recommend. I don't like say anything to my customers if they don't do it. And most times it's no problem at all, even if they didn't do it. But every now and then you'll find one that's got a longer stitch length or something like that. And then the seams are, you know, acting up a little bit on the outside. I try to baste everything down as I'm going as well. So I try to catch it if I can. But I quilt just about anything. Kevin saying, Miss T snorting at me. I want to have a bunch more birthdays, woman. Right. You better sit in that chair right. Um Good night, Miss Vivian. She's leaving. Christine says, I have a set of press sticks and I love them. Yeah. And like I said, I have them in all 3 sizes that they come in. They used to have an 18-inch and people said 18-inch was just too small. So at one point, if I don't order 18 inches, I think they replaced the 18-inch with the 22-inch. And because I have some 18-inch around here, but I love the 22-inch. I have one of the 45 if you have a whole jelly roll. But I found, with the whole thing, it was just like I can slide this stick down and it works just fine. So I've never even pulled out. I don't even pull out my 45. I pull it out just to demo how to use it, but I really don't use it. Um, Contour Crafting says, can you explain scrubbing one more time? It's like, you ever seen where you thought you sold a seam, and then you get the whole quilt top made, and then all of a sudden you've got a hole in a seam line. I'm trying to find something smaller so I'm not oh, like say you were sewing this seam here, and then you got it sewed, your whole quilt top's done, and you're quilting it like it's on a long arm, and I've got a hole in it, and I can't get it to my domestic machine at this point. I guess I could if I took it off my long arm and bring it in here, but I'm not doing that. um that's way more work. So say I have a hole here, I will just do scrubbing, and it's just circular free motion quilting, and I try to put as much of it as I can on the background fabric, and if I have to go over a little bit, I just go over a little bit, but it's like circular scrubbing, because what I'm trying to do is fill in whatever space that hole is showing, because we don't want batting coming through that hole. It's too late for the quilter to fix it. um there isn't even any fabric there because of me quilting it. It's not like you can go and fix that little hole after I've quilted it, because it's all drawn up as I'm quilting the quilt. So it's even less space for you to have room to fix a seam like that. So that's what I call scrubbing. I don't know what it's officially called, but it's just like you're just scrubbing. Um, See if I can find a piece of paper. I got a paper pen here and a paper towel. So if I had a line, my seam line, and then in here, so if this is my seam line that's straight, and then this area where I've got the double dashes is open, and I'm not going to be able to do this while I'm showing it to you because I can't see, but I'm basically, let me just draw it and you'll see it. I'm just taking my thread, and I'm going over this line in little small circles, or whatever size that hole is, to cover it up. So you'll see something like this with thread. So I may have been stitching in a ditch to get down here or something, and then I'm going to be doing little circular motions that it takes to cover that up, and then I'm going to come back out and go back straight down the ditch. So that's what I call scrubbing. When it's on the quilt top and it's using the background fabric, it's not as noticeable as you think it would be when you're talking about a bed-size quilt, for sure. Like I said, I had one customer, I'm trying to show it to her, and she was like, didn't even want to wait for me to like find it to show her. She's like, I turned, I thought it was in one quarter. I turned to that quarter, I couldn't see it. So I turned to the next quarter, I couldn't see it. She like, it doesn't matter. She says, if it's taking you that long to find it, it ain't gonna show. She didn't even care. But I do let people know, because I don't want to give people back something that's a surprise when they see it later, or if they should see it later. I always let people know if I've done something different to your quilt. I don't just do it and not tell you about it. And it doesn't happen all the time, but when it happens, you need to know what to do about it, because there's nothing you can do if you like I said, sometimes with my older quilters, it wasn't cut right, it wasn't sewed right. There is no room to fix it. It's just going to be a hole in the quilt. All right, so I got everything pressed here. I need to do some counting. Good night, June. June's leaving. Thank you for talking about scrubbing. Now I know and won't be disappointed when things don't look perfect. Right. And things happen to everybody. Everybody can have a bad sew day or a bad cut day, because it's not always about the 1/4 inch seam. People don't realize you can't sew something to the correct size if it's not first cut to the right size. So got to start there. Minnie says, I'm sad today because my quilting shop that I took quilting workshops to learn how to quilt and get my quilts quilted is closing. She decided to retire. And that's a big problem. We got one shop that closed here because she was ready to retire. Nobody would buy. And we got another store that's in metropolitan Illinois. and she's been wanting to sell for a long time, and it's just like people are just not coming up with the funds to buy the quilt shops, and I think the quilt shops do very well. Um, yeah. Lizette says, thanks for describing scrubbing. I have to consider that technique. Sin Forrest is here, says, hi, just listening, dinner time. Lizette Zaya says it looks like a satin stitch, and it's just like that because I'm using marker to show you guys so it shows up. But when I'm doing it, it's actually little circles in a row going down whatever is making a hole. And if I have to go back up and come back down, I do that. But I want to make sure that none of the batting is going to seep out of that hole, because it is technically a hole in your quilt. You already are starting wear and tear on your quilt, so you have to stitch it down some kind of way. Melina says, when making small bags, where do you sew your tags? I don't know where would be a good spot. I put mine, it depends. Are you a person? I put my tags on the front. I have the leather tags. I spent a lot of money for them. They look nice. I'm trying to spray net. I still haven't got this net in here. Okay. And he's still flying around. But I'm trying to keep him away from me. I don't want to get bit. um, I put mine on the front because I use it. It's just like you go by Gucci, where you can go by Teaquilts. I'm not narcissistic to think that I'm the same as Gucci, but if Gucci can put their name on something and somebody buy it, why can't I put my name on it if I handmade it? So, I put mine on the front. It depends on the type of bag as to how easy that's going to be to put on the bag before it's constructed. I do a test bag, and then I measure. So the next time I do my bags, I know exactly where to put my label so it falls exactly where I want it to fall. So my first bag, my label may not be perfect. The second bag, it's going to be spot on because I measure it. So it's a suggestive thing. It's wherever you want to put your label in the end. We call that darning back in the, and yeah, and it could be considered that as well. It's like darning, but and I call it scrubbing because darning would be like rows of stitches, and then you go back and do rows of stitches this way, and they would be very close together. Whereas I'm just scrubbing around in a circle because I'm not going to be doing all these straight lines back and forth. So, and I want to cover everything, whereas darning don't necessarily cover everything. You actually see the stitches, or you don't, you depending on the color thread, because it'll blend in, but you still know the stitches are there. So it's a little, that's why I call it scrubbing instead of darning. Sue Allen is here saying hi, TNT Quilters. Hey, Sue, welcome to the chat. My husband thought I should put it inside. And most times, if a man is not a crafter, they will say that. But if you ask a male that's a crafter, or a quilter, they're gonna tell you to put it on the outside. And sometimes I think they're not considering our work the same caliber as somebody else's. If Gucci got theirs on the outside, we can put ours on the outside too. That is funny. You're welcome. And like I said, it's all suggestive, and you can put your label wherever you want. There is no wrong place to put your label. But if I'm paying for a leather label, those are pretty costly. I'm going to put my leather labels on the outside, okay? None of mine are going on the inside of the leather. I got a couple of them. Oh, I got one of all of them here. All my labels are going to be on the outside. I paid for this leather. That's a true leather label. I'm trying to get them sorted by what they are. These are leather. This is a two-toned, kind of teal and green. And then this one's a pink one. And then this is cork. I think all three of these are cork. I've got this brown cork, black, and then a red. So I have 5 different types of labels, and they're so pretty that they're going on the outside. Now, if it was like a fabric label, I have those, but I'm not sure where they are. They might be with my bag stuff. I don't see them right now. Those are just samples because my other labels are with my bag making supplies. I just had to keep some in here so because they were just so pretty. But I do have the cloth labels, and I would put those on the inside. The white cloth labels, like, what do they use for that? What do you call that material? Oh my goodness, I'm blocking the name. I haven't used that word in a while. But it's like grow grain ribbon, something that doesn't ravel, but that's not what it is. And then they put your label on top of that so it doesn't fray. So you don't have to like finish all the ends. You can just tuck it in one seam and be done. But I'm blocking the name of those. And Melina says, yes, I have the cloth. So it makes a difference. If I had the cloth label when I was making my bags, I always put the label on the inside. It's just personal preference. Again, the cloth labels I put on the inside for me. That doesn't mean you can't put your cloth label on the outside. And if it's leather, most definitely, or cork, most definitely mines are going on the outside. I paid a lot for those. Thank you. Christine says she loves the chisel blocks. I would press that net. Right, I'm trying, girl. It keeps going away, and then by the time I reach back, see, it's back again. I reach back, and then it disappears. I reach back here to get the iron, and then it disappears. So I'm missing it. And most times, you see one, you probably got 10. So that's the problem with gnats. Good night, Lana. And Sin says, oh, I see. I understand that what you're saying. Thank you. You're welcome. And Gloria says, girl, the way you are spraying that should be the drowned or pressed flat. Right. I think it's just more than one. Like I said, I had some apples and I haven't eaten them, and I'm wondering if they're at the apples because it's sweet. The apples were really good, but I may have to go throw them apples away. I hate gnats. And sometimes we just bring them home on our food. I rinsed them off when I got here, but they might have just gone up in the air. We need an outside water bath for our fruits and vegetables so we don't bring them in until they're washed. And thank you, Melina says she liked the labels, so thank you. Twill tape. Thank you, Sin. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Twill tape. I don't use that word that often. But that's what they mostly will put some cloth labels on so that they don't ravel. Bees Val says good night from Valley, Chicago. Good night. Thank you for coming in here and chatting with us. Appreciate that. So I don't the only other thing I gotta do is figure out if I've got to cut pieces. I don't really want to work right with this. I just use this for a demo. I need to count my pieces to see if I can do 10 more, 9.5. So for 9 times 4 is 36. So I need 38 chisels. Oh, I already got these sorted by blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, but this is 8. Let me make sure. 1. I got them sorted by 4. Oh, this is more than 4. This is 5. Okay. This is 1. 2. 3. 4. 5, 6, 7. It was just an extra one in a pile. 7. That's 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. So I'm 2 chisels short. And 2 chisels short. So that's what I write down on a paper towel. 2 African print chisels. It's always great to know what you need. All right, I'm going to put this on the underside. So 2 African chisels. Good night, C-Joy. Good night, Remo. So this is 1. Oh, I don't need 2 more chisels. It's up here. I put them up there. Yay. I need 0. And draw a line. Well, look at God. 1, 2. I think these are 4, right? I call myself 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need 2 more blocks. I need 4 in a block, so I need 8 gray chisels. See, I use you guys too. I'm utilizing all my minutes, so I'm not doing it alone. So I need 8 gray chisels. I need half square triangles. I need 30. So 9 times 4 is 36, 37, 38 black half square triangles. And I got some here. I need, okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, and an extra. So I'm gonna go 5, and then that's gonna be 6 up there. So 6. So I need 4 times 4 is 16 gray half square triangles. All right, so I know exactly what I need to cut. We only got 4 things to cut. I mean 4 different combinations. I'm gonna put this under my presser foot. And yeah, these go with that. I don't take this stuff off. All right, so I'm ready to cut. So I'll be ready for next week when I come back. I've got some extra pieces here that I'm going to cut some of these chisels on. And then I've got my fabric in the bag that's laying on top of my, got my African fabric containers, my scrap bin down here. So I got plenty of fabric to cut. So that's what we're working on. All right. So we're going to get ready to get off of here. Let me make sure I haven't missed any last comments. Good night, T. Been up since 4 a.m. Had to take and pick up daughter from work. God bless everyone and stay safe. So good night, Gloria. Thank you so much for participating in chat. Jean says, can I ask a question about quilting? You can't always get what you want. Music, right? um, how do you select a thread color to quilt to quilt a quilt? I think I'm struggling with this, and it's always gonna be problematic, especially when you're dealing with something like scrap quilts and stuff like this. There is my first thing that I do when I'm thinking about colors for thread. As I'm loading my quilt, I'm looking at the top and I'm trying to figure out which threads do I want to pull out. So I start with that. And then I take those threads and I pull them off the cone and I just let them just worm their little way around the quilt in a kind of a line, but it doesn't have to necessarily be a straight line because I want the thread to do some movement. And it's a good indicator for how heavy or light something is going to come into a quilt and where that medium is. And then you have to ask if it's your quilt or your customer's quilt. My customers don't tend to care. They just tell me to do whatever I want. Most of them, I got a couple of them that might tell me, um, they want to select their thread. Say, I want pink, but can you pull all your pinks and let me see them? So I'll lay out all the pinks on top of the quilt top that I think will work or that have enough variance in color. And then I let them pick from, say, like 3 colors. I'll pick a light, medium, and a dark. That's the best of the light, medium, and dark. Because I'm not going to pull every color pink. I got about 10 different pink cones, and that would just be overkill for somebody to choose from. So I lay out whatever colors I think I might want to put on the quilt, and then I roll them out. So it could be a pink one, it could be a green one, it could be a white one. And then I put those threads out and then I decide which one I want to use at that point. Another thing that I use as a rule of thumb that's in my head, scrap quilts. Your go-to threads are always going to be some kind of a medium-ish gray. It will go with almost any quilt top. Heather Goose, I think it's Heather Goose or Mother Goose. I can't remember. I've been using the thread so long I don't even look at it anymore. But it's got goose in it, and it's a brown thread. It works very well with any scrappy color quilts as well. And then I also have a sateen blue that works very well with all scrap quilts as well. So I have 3 threads that if I can't find anything else, I will use that. The other thing that you can do, whatever the background fabric color, I see the net still flying, whatever the background color is in the pattern. So here I'm using gray. Most likely I'm going to use a gray background, unless, say, when I put my quilt together, say maybe I see a lot of orange and I want my quilting to be the focus instead of my block. Then I might say I'm going to pick the orange instead. But most likely when I'm quilting this, I'm probably going to be using a gray thread, unless I come up with something once it's pieced and I see some different vision for it. But they always say, think about how you're going to quilt something as you're working on it. That particular line has never really worked very well for me. I don't normally think about what I'm going to quilt. I just want to make what I'm making and enjoy that particular process and not stress about the quilting. And then when I get to the quilting, I just worry about the quilting at that point. I have to decide if I'm going to do, your thread makes a big difference if you're going to do dense quilting, like quilting every ½ inch apart, or if you're going to do very spacey open quilting, then you're not going to see it as much because it's not going to be that close together. So there's major things to consider with thread, including how much you're going to be using. There's certain density into the quilt patterns that people also fail to put into that equation, because something that might have looked good if it wasn't densely quilted may not look as good. uh, if it would look better if it was something that was loosely quilted. And it's, as well as the design that you're stitching, also can play a part in that as well. So it's more than just the thread, but that's how I select my threads. I look at the quilt top and say, I'm going to use green. And then I go through my greens and I pull out what I want to try. And then you'll be surprised. I even pull out something that I may not even think I'm going to use. And sometimes I end up using that because it gives it such a different feel. You can most time people, if you quilting for somebody else, they mostly give their backing the same color as one of the colors on the front, and then you can also use that as a signal for what color thread, because whatever thread I use, whatever color, not the same thread, but whatever color thread I use on top, it's also the same color thread that I'm going to use in the bobbin. So if I'm using blue on top, I'm going to be using blue on the bottom. If I'm using gray on top, I'm going to be using gray on the bottom. So most times people will give you a hint by what they put on the back of their quilt. And that was Jean. I hope that helped, Jean. Sue says, have a blessed night. My chat just disappeared. You don't have to give me super chats. I will answer any question anybody asks on or off topic. Unless I'm doing like a presentation, then I'll keep them on topic until I'm done with that. And then, but I don't mind answering anybody's question. Matter of fact, I'd rather answer it on a chat instead of having to type it out. So I don't mind at all. But thank you so much for doing that. And she says, thank you for taking the time to answer my question. I appreciate it. And she says it helps a lot. Yeah. So I think we think of it, we get so stressed with color when it comes to that we're not thinking about the total picture. And sometimes, like I said, that thread would be fine if you didn't do dense quilting. If it was loosely quilted, it would have looked better instead of something that was densely quilted. So all of that comes into play, but mostly I start out by looking at that quilt as I'm putting it on and seeing what colors I'm seeing, and then I go from there. Or cop out, always use the background fabric. Background fabric color. That's always a way to go around it. One of my things I try not to do, like even when somebody has a white background quilt, I work really, really hard not to use white. But there are a few times when white is appropriate. Now, if somebody is one of those, I have a quilter that makes like queen to king size quilts, and she'll have big white spaces and then like hardly any piecing, but that's because she just want to make a quilt. She'll have like a star, but the star might be 48 inches, but the whole quilt might be 110 inches, and she's got a lot of white space. So I'll pick whatever color, like she'll make a purple star. I will go use a very light color of lilac instead of using white, because all that white space, instead of it just being in the background texture, I now make the focus of that pattern. So if she used florals in her star, then I will pick some kind of floral design and use a very lilac color. If her insides was purple, I'll pick a coordinating very light color to put on that white, and you'll be amazed of giving it some more interest over just this big old square of white. So it just depends on how you want to look at it. And you, in the end, I think, everybody wants to judge everybody, but in the end, there is nothing wrong. And the main thing is getting it done. So, and it's if you don't like it on this one, the next time you've learned something for the next time. So I don't take it serious. I don't take it serious at all. That's what I was told when I started. Gray is the color of shadow, right? You can always use gray in any quilt. So I have grays. I have about maybe 6 or 7 different grays, just because I can choose. But most of the time I'm ended up using the one that's in the middle. For some reason it just works. And then if it's like, if this gray was darker in color, then I would be using my darker gray. But I always try to make sure I have options when I'm doing that. So, well, that's it, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and end here. I think that's it. Let me make sure, because sometimes it'll stop. See, it stopped. Okay. And you all come back Wednesday. We'll have 1 hour chat. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be talking about. My brother got his good night in. He hear me. And I haven't decided yet what I'm going to be doing on Wednesday, but come back. We'll be here at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 1 hour live chat at that time. And I will see you all next time. You all stay blessed, be safe, and quilt out, everybody. Good night.